Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from vacation still, Josh Lander. I am currently recording from Belgium, bringing you a game video here. The Orlando Magic are taking on the Dallas Mavericks at home in Orlando. I'll be bringing you some stuff to look at in this one. I do like the Magic a bit. I like some points in this game. We'll talk about all of that. Nate Weitzer is also on today. He has a game video for you guys coming from America, as we were not able to sync up our schedules. So a couple of separate game videos from Nate and I today. We are combining our player props video as well. I've got a couple props for you. Nate has a couple of his own. We combine those into one video. Thank you to Jack Roberts there from thelines.com for going ahead and handling all the production for us. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We are usually bringing you a couple game videos a week, as well as our player props video. Usually Nate and I are together. Right now, like I said, our schedules are not synced up with a roughly 7-hour time difference or so that we are experiencing. So go ahead and make sure to like and subscribe. Continue to follow along with us. Head to thelines.com. That's where we have our great written content for you guys and our odds finder tool that you can go ahead and use to make sure you are shopping those lines to the best of your ability across the NBA. Since Nate is not here, it is up to me to go ahead and read the lines to you guys here. So I will bring us a pretty full schedule on the NBA slate here after everybody was off on Tuesday night. Hopefully you guys got out and voted. But I will go ahead and get into these lines right here. We've got the Mavs and the Magic. That's the game I'm talking to you guys about. 7.5 points right now for the Magic, minus 110 for both squads. The total sits at about 214. It actually continues to drop, which is really interesting, as I am preferring an over here with the Magic playing offense at a really superb pace when they're at home, complete opposites when they are on the road. I'll get into some of that stuff right here and tell you why there's some value on that total there and the over for both these teams, some points to be had in this game. And then we've got a few other spreads here. Like I said, plenty of games tonight. The Nuggets and the Pacers are in Indiana, plus 5.5 for the Pacers there. I kind of like the Pacers there as well, to be honest with you. The Blazers and the Hornets are in Charlotte, plus 3.5 for the home squad there. The Hornets against the Blazers. The Pistons are plus 13 on the road against the Boston Celtics there in Boston. The Knicks at home, I don't know, they're on the road, whatever. They're in Brooklyn against the Nets, minus 3.5 for the home squad there. The Nets are minus 3.5, minus 105 for them on DraftKings. Houston Rockets plus 10 in Toronto, minus 10 for the Raptors at home, plus 4 for the Jazz. They are in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. The Bucks are only minus 1.5 right now in OKC. That game opened at about 6.5. I know that because I am currently on European time, so well ahead of you guys, able to see that spread opened at 6.5 all the way down to 1.5 for the Bucks on the road. The Grizzlies minus 5.5 in San Antonio. The Pelicans minus 2 now in Chicago. The Suns are plus 1.5 rather in Minnesota. The Timberwolves favored minus 1.5 there at home against the Suns. That spread opened with the Suns as favorites as well. The Cavaliers are in Sacramento, minus 4.5 for the second place Cavs in the East against Sac on the road. And then a couple LA teams, plus 3 for the Lakers on the road in LA, taking on the Clippers. That started at about 5.5 point dogs for the Lakers. So some stuff to be talked about there. Nate's talking about that New York game. I'm going to go ahead and touch on the Mavericks and the Magic, as I said. Look, the Magic at home this season might be a top 5 offense in the league. Definitely one of the worst teams and offenses on the road, regardless of where they are at that point. But this game, I'm really looking at the total here, and I can understand why it opened at roughly like 216.5. It currently sits at 214. And the reason I understand why people are betting that under there is it's a Magic versus Mavericks matchup, right? And the Mavs play at the slowest pace regardless of where they are, at home or on the road. The Magic are a little bit different. And honestly, both teams have some splits here in terms of their home and away stuff that really interests me in betting on the Magic and it interests me on betting on the over as well. At home, the Magic score 122 points a game, right? That is third best in the NBA in terms of home points per game. Away, they are 102 points per game, right? That is a 20-point difference there. That's the second least as well when they are on the road in terms of how many points per game they're scoring. Their pace is different, 10th overall and 10th fastest, 101 at home, a 99 pace when they're on the road. That brings them down to 20th, right? So we're seeing a lot of the things that the Magic do well at home. They those are the things they need to do to win, essentially, right? Like they score in the paint at home at the rate of like a top 5 team in the league. They are limiting opponents to their second chance points and to their points in the paint when they're at home. It's a completely opposite scenario when they're on the road, and that's really hugely why at this point they're one of the worst teams in the league, is they've just played on the road a bunch of times. Right now they're 4-0 against the spread when they're at home. They're covering the spread by an average of 9 points per game as home underdogs, and they are winning those games by an average of 3 points per game when they're at home. So it's a completely reverse narrative for this team when they're at home versus when they're on the road, and they actually look like a legitimate team. So before I go anywhere else, my actual favorite bet in this game is for sure 103.5 points for the Magic at home against one of the best teams in the league. I'll admit it, in terms of the Mavs, one of the best defensive teams, one of the slowest teams. But look, it's the Magic at home. And I will also say, time to talk about the Mavs a bit more. When the Mavs are on the road, and I'm going to take a sip of my Belgian beer here for a sec. When the Mavs are on the road, 115 points per game. That's how many they allow. 103 points per game when they're at home, right? So we're talking about second best defense in terms of allowing, not allowing opponents points when they're at home. We're talking about the 18th worst defensive rating and most points per game allowed to their opponent when they're on the road. They're playing in Orlando for this game, so that's why I feel completely good about this one. It's also about the way that they play defense. It's absolutely wild to see, but they allow the 5th highest field goal percentage to their opponents when they're on the road. That's good for the 7th worst field goal percentage allowed to their opponent. Orlando shoots, like I said, 10th best percentage at home. That's 9th, really, to be specific, in terms of their field goal percentage at home. They're scoring the majority of their points from 2-point as well. They do hit a few more threes at home, which is fine. I mean, Dallas's 3-point defense is very, very good. But Orlando's offense at this point is very specific to how they play when they're at home. They're not shooting nearly as many threes. They're just getting to the paint. They're getting to the rack. They're getting those 2-point field goals that are not even mid-range shots, right? Like they're not even really scoring from the mid-range when they're on the road. They're just getting to the paint, getting what they want, getting really high field goal percentage. That's why they also have the 3rd best true shooting percentage. Do the Magic when they're at home. So look, like I said, the pace is very slow for this Dallas team, but I'm totally eyeing an over at 214. I'm eyeing, like I said, most importantly, over 103 points for the Magic at home in this one. Yeah, Luka's prop sits at 34.5 right now in terms of his points in this one. I don't know, man. The man's playing out of his mind entirely. I have no desire to bet against Luka. I also have no desire to bet on someone scoring 35 points in a game. I don't know. I guess it could be the second coming of Michael Jordan, in which case I'm sure there was a time where bettors were putting all of their money on Michael to score over on every game. But I'm not touching Luka in this one. I'm strictly talking totals for the game, totals for Orlando. 103.5 for Orlando is where I got it, and I would continue to hit that all the way up to like 105, 106. I would not feel shy about that one. I think there's a bit of value. Look, it's possible that Vegas has this one completely correct, and I am sort of trying to follow a trend that has been happening all season, but I'm going to continue to feel good about Orlando to score at home until they tell me otherwise. I'm going to continue to feel good about them covering 8 points at home when they're winning, but these games by an average of 3 points per game. So make sure that you do like and subscribe to that page. That's all the time I've got for you guys today as I continue along on this vacation. Doesn't mean I don't have time for all of these games. I've got plenty of time on these train rides between countries that I'm checking out all this stuff for you. And it's just too much of a discrepancy here between how many points Orlando is scoring, the way that they're playing offense at home, and the way that this total specifically is adjusted for you guys right now. So continue to follow along with us. Like and subscribe to that page. Like I said, we'll be coming back to you guys. We've got a couple game videos up for you today, one each from Nate and I, as well as a combined player props video recorded at different times, but 4 solid player props for you tonight in the NBA. So until we see you next, happy betting.